Nicole Smythe-Johnson is een schrijfster en ze woont en werkt in Jamaica. Momenteel is ze in Suriname en daarom zit ze ook vandaag in Multi Kulti. We gaan een gesprek hebben met haar. Welkom, Nicole.
Thank you.
You're in Suriname now. How long are you here?
I've been here for about a week and a half, and I'll leave next week. So about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Okay. How do you like it here?
I really like it. Somebody else asked me this, and I was saying I went to New Amsterdam, and they told me that the Dutch had traded Suriname for New York, and I think I understand why.
Okay. You're a writer and an independent curator.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, I will talk about being an independent curator first, since that's the capacity I'm here in. And so a curator is someone who facilitates an experience of art for artists and audiences. So you kind of connect artists with audiences. There are different ways to do that. So you could do it in the format of an exhibition, say at a museum or at a gallery. You can also write about art. You could also develop programming where, for example, you might have an artist give a talk about their art or do some kind of question and answer segment. So there's a variety of different things. And on the artist side, you might help the artist to get in touch with institutions that could exhibit their work, or with institutions that are interested in buying their work or adding it to their collection. So there's a whole range of activities. It's quite broad.
You're an assistant curator on the exhibition in Miami?
Yes. That's an exhibition of work by a Jamaican artist called John Dunkley. He's a self-taught artist. He was working in the 1930s. He's a very interesting artist because he was a barber primarily. That was his main trade. And he was in that period where people were traveling around for the Panama Canal to work with the United Fruit Company, that kind of thing. So he was quite well traveled for somebody at that time. And he started just making paintings for his barber shop. And that became something bigger and bigger. People came and saw his work. It ended up being in exhibitions. And now he's considered sort of one of the fathers of Jamaican art. A specific category of Jamaican art that's called the intuitive. Intuitive art is art made by self-taught artists.
When is this exhibition?
The exhibition opens on May 26 in Miami, and it will run through into 2017.
Okay. You're also a writer. On which topics do you write?
Art and culture primarily. So there is some variation. I'll write about other things as well sometimes, but I usually...
Do you write for the paper or...?
No, I write for a variety of different publications, so journals, magazines, sometimes for online publications like blogs, things like that. And I just reflect on art and culture, so things that I see. I'll probably write something about Suriname, having been here now.
Is that why you're here now?
Yes, well, I'm part of, this particular trip is a part of a broader thing that I'm doing. It's called the Tilting Axis Fellowship. A fellowship is really when someone funds you to do research. And so my research interest was in the kinds of curatorial practice, that is to say, how do people facilitate art in places where there are not a lot of, art museums and a big art market and galleries and fairs and so on. Because in Europe and North America, that's how people think about an art city, right?
Yes.
Or a place with lots of art has all of those things. And I want to argue that there's lots of art in the Caribbean, even though we don't have all of those things.
You're now a week here in Suriname.
Yes.
What do you experience about art in Suriname?
So much. I was actually really, I was talking to someone yesterday and I was saying that I probably haven't seen as much activity as in Suriname in some of the other places that I've been to. I've been to Sana Budaya, so that's one type of art. I visited with Wadell and Donna Akobe at their Tembe workshop. That's another type of art. I went to Reditex Gallery. Where else have I been? I went with a performance group great group of young people called the Four Messengers that work with the Kibii Foundation in Mungo. They went to French Guiana over the weekend to perform, so I've seen that. And then of course, Kibii and the Tembe Art Studio has brought together all these different artists from all over.
Okay.
So it's been really rich.
You've seen a lot now in Suriname. Is there a difference between art in Jamaica and here?
That's a hard question. The thing about art, and I think that's what I like about it the most, is that it's so varied, right? It's so rich because each artist is making work from their very specific perspective, right? And their very specific point of view. So I can't say, art in Jamaica is very varied, right? And art in Suriname is also very varied. So I can't say, I wouldn't want to compare them. I wouldn't want to compare the art itself, say art Jamaica, art Suriname. What I would say is that the themes are different. So in Suriname, a lot of artists are working in one way or another with the richness of the culture and with all the different kinds of people that are here and how those people coexist and build a nation together. So that seems to me to be quite a dominant theme. People are doing that in different ways. They may be looking at, like at Sana Budaya or with Wadel and Dona, they are looking back at their ancestral art forms and then bringing that into the contemporary moment. So I see a lot of that in Suriname. In Jamaica, right now I think artists tend to be dealing a lot with social issues because right now we have a lot of social issues with crime and violence and these kinds of things. So you'll find artists trying to get a hold on that in some way, trying to propose a way forward or trying to look at that in a different way and make it improve the situation somehow. So that's a kind of difference, but the forms and the different things that come out of that are very varied in both places,
Yes. You said you will write articles about our country, where it will be published.
It will probably be published online. It will be published as a part of a collection of writing that is going to come out of these visits that I've done. The organization that has funded my trip, called Tilting Axis, they funded it through a grant from the British Council and in partnership with a set of organizations in Scotland. But they have a website called tiltingaxis.org, and so they will put a lot of their work on there. Tilting Axis is a group of Caribbean organizations that came together to start doing meetings every year where Caribbean organizations could come together and start to talk about arts organizations, by the way, not just any Caribbean organization, would come together and talk about the issues that face Caribbean arts organizations.
Are you going also to other Caribbean countries?
Yes, I've been to already Barbados, Grenada. I was in Trinidad for a little bit, even though they're not a formal part of this proposal. And then I will go on to Puerto Rico.
When will we be seeing the first article about Suriname on the website?
Well, probably by about August, July, August.
Yes.
It has to go through editing and all of these things.
When are you going back to Jamaica?
May 2. I'll be in Jamaica for a couple of weeks and then I will go somewhere else to present about the things that I've seen. I'll go to Cayman to the Tilting Axis conference there, and then I'll go to Miami to open that show, and then to Puerto Rico.
We are looking forward to the articles about Suriname.
Yes.
Thank